Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here checking out OlliOlli. God, this one's been in the works for a while, hasn't it? So this is a 2D skateboarding game by Roll7. Let's just get right into it. Tutorial is just basically a bunch of levels that tell you everything, but I'll tell you everything as it goes along. The options, you can change the language, or reset your data, or the credits, obviously. Now, just while we're here and the sliders on the right remind me, I don't like the music in this game at all. It seriously just sounds like generic electronic dubstep nonsense, and I don't like it. It doesn't fit the game at all, in my opinion. If they'd gone for something like the Tony Hawk soundtrack, or maybe something that was a little bit more upbeat, it'd be a lot better, but I just don't like it at all. I'm sorry, guys. You made some, in my opinion, you made some bad decisions there. So, we're just gonna jump right into one of the urban spots. Alright, so the idea of this game is you press X to... Oh, this is going to end well, isn't it? Okay, so the idea is you press X to push to gain more speed, and you use the analog stick and move it in specific directions to do specific tricks. So I can just simply press to the right to do a kick flip, press to the left to do a heel flip, or I can do semicircle motions in order to get different tricks. That's how it works. You can also press the analog stick as you're coming down on a grindable surface, and you will do a grind on it. And then when you're coming out of a jump or a line or whatever you want to call it, you press X when you're close to the ground, and the closer you are to being good on the ground, the more points you get. And I'll just replay that one more time just to shove some more stuff. And there's also perfect landings, which give you more points, and there's also perfect grinds. As you can see, it went green there as I landed on the rail. So that, yeah, that is basically a perfect grind, and perfect grinds get more points. And you can also hold the R or L button to do spins in the air, and you can't land while you're spinning, but that you get more points if you pull off a couple of spins. And that is basically it. That is the basic control set of this game. It is literally just the analog stick or the directional pad, depending on which one you want to use. I recommend the analog stick. And the X button. That's literally all you do. Oh, and the shoulder buttons, but you know, you can ignore them if you want. So if we go back to the level select, you can see if I go into all sorts of different spots here, they all have different objectives. For some reason, you see your 5 objectives here. The 2 up the top are always like max score and max combo, but the 3 ones down the bottom, which if you can't read that, are flip out, double perfectionist, and perfect to grind. You don't know what those goals are until you actually go into the level. See, it says land a kickflip, land 2 tricks perfect, and pull a perfect grind. How can you tell that from these small descriptions? I don't know why they're different here, and then in the game they're like the actual descriptions. That's a bit odd. Also, you can see up the top there, my score and my best combo are there. And there's also the person who's at the very top of the leaderboard and your rank on the leaderboard. Why can't I see my friends' high scores? That's just the one thing I want to see. I mean, like, I don't care about the guy who's at the top, because eventually this game's going to get released. This is a pre-release copy, by the way. Eventually this game's going to get released, and some crazy bastard with too much time on his hands is going to get all the way up to the top of the leaderboard and stay there for good. And I'm not going to give a crap. I'm just going to want to compare to my friends and see how well I did against them, and not there. Just no way for me to do that. That's a little bit disappointing. Can I do it in spots though? No, I can't. Alright, so I'll go back to spots later. So the idea of the levels is that in every level you get 5 objectives. Relatively familiar to people who played Tony Hawk. And the idea is that you want to actually do these objectives. And when you do the objectives, you can do them in any order, in like any part of the level you like. So like if I did like one of the goals, like get 130,000 point combo, and I successfully pulled it off, I completed it, and now that's going to stay completed forever. See? You don't have to get all 5 stars in the same run, because that would be absolutely insane, and on some levels I imagine it would be even impossible to do. So yeah, there are so many levels in this game. Like, when you get 5 stars on the amateur runs, you unlock the pro levels. So as you can see, I've unlocked a fair few pro levels here. And they're basically just completely different levels. Let's just go and do one of the junkyard levels just for the hell of it. So yeah, as you can see, this is the junkyard. There's not much difference between the levels. There's one, like, specific thing that's unique to these levels. Like, the urban areas have a lot of things you need to jump over, like a lot of obstacles in the way of the path. Junkyard has a lot of, different mechanical machinery that has grind rails, and I'll show the rest of as I come to them. So yeah, the basic idea of this game is to do as many tricks as possible. Land it, and just, you know, keep going until the end. And if you don't manage to pull off a landing, you obviously get a sloppy, and if you fall, like, off a staircase or something while you're coming out of the sloppy animation, you will bail. There's no denying that'll happen. Okay, I have to talk about something else, and that's a reminder, because that is the second time I've seen Sketchy this entire game. And I've got to talk about this eventually, but for right now, I'll just continue on this lovely little crap. I failed miserably. That would have actually been a good combo. So we'll go back to the level select. There's something I want to talk about. People are going to hate me for this, so I'm just going to go onto the port level. I'm going to go into a port level for the time being. Now, this game has a very, very slight problem. Whoops. This game has a very, very slight problem with the grinding. It feels just a tiny, tiny bit too... What's the word I'm looking for? It feels a tiny bit too precise. Very, very tiny. I'm an idiot. Very, very tiny. Because sometimes it feels like I've gone right through a staircase where I really, really should have, like, actually managed to pull off the grind, which is kind of ridiculous because, I mean, like, I honestly feel this all the damn time well, not all the damn time, but it happens a fair amount in this game, and it's honestly one of the main sources of frustration I have with it, because I've had so many runs ruined by what feels like me just completely passing through a grind rail for absolutely no reason. Now there, I can understand why that happened there, because I was still in the spin animation when I fell through that rail. But it's weird because sometimes it just feels like I fall through the rails for no reason at all. And it's weird as well because I think this game is actually slightly unpolished in the physics department. Because remember how I said I had only seen Sketchy twice throughout that through the last level? Well, I've played like through the whole pro career, like the whole amateur career. I've played through a few spots and I've played through a lot of the what's the word I'm looking for? I've played through a lot of the, well, not a lot, but a fair amount of the pro level stuff. And I swear to God, it feels like sometimes it feels like I'm missing grinds that I really shouldn't be missing. I just fall right through them. I don't know if I don't have enough speed or if I don't know if I'm high enough, but I'm definitely high enough. Like, even if I just, like, miss the grind by, like, a millisecond, it still looks like my guy's half on the rail, and I still don't get it, and it really frustrates me at times. Did I pull off any objectives in that? No, I didn't. Alright, I'll go on to a base level. Base is the bane of my goddamn existence. I absolutely hate these sets of levels. So yeah, it's just weird. It feels like I get the grind just barely, but I fall right through. And there's a staircase on one of these base levels, which I remember that is really hard to get right because of the fact that it feels like you just fall through. I don't know what it is. I swear, like, I will admit I am kind of shit at this game, but there are times when I can willingly admit that it was my fault that I tried to do just too much in just too small amount of time. And sometimes I just feel like that I pass right through the rails. Otherwise, the game's physics system is actually really good. If there was just that little tweak to give that little bit more of a timing window on grinds, I would be a ton happier with this game because so much of my frustration was spent on two levels where it felt like I was consistently passing through rails, and I had to get up like more speed even though I was right on top of the goddamn rails, and I still somehow managed to bail consistently whenever reaching them because I would just pass right through them, and it got me really frustrated at times. But otherwise, the game is actually really precise, especially with the trick movements and the landings. It's annoying when you, you know, sometimes you lose sense of the timing that you're trying to take. Neon City, this is like the most annoying set of levels in the game. Sometimes it's really annoying when you're, just trying to play, like, without focusing, and you end up, like, landing like, sloppy every single time. You always just miss it. But, I mean, that's a problem with us, not with the game. The game tends to figure out landings really well. It's just the grinds. The grinds seem to have this really weird tendency to just miss at random, and I don't know what it is. So we're just gonna keep going here. I spent like 2 days stuck on this level because it's just so hard to get normally, and it's really ridiculously hard. The other Neon... This should have been Neon City 5. Because it honestly feels like this is like one of the hardest levels in the entire game right here. I mean, like, I played some of the pro courses and they're not as hard as this. Good lord. But yeah, I mean, the game does feel really good underneath you. It's really surprising how much I can focus on that one little grind thing. I swear to God, it really does feel like you just pass through the rails sometimes, and there's a fair chance that now I'm actually playing the game on camera, it won't actually come up, and that's kind of annoying. But it's just, I swear it's true, and just a tiny little tweak to the timing windows. Especially since there's a, and I honestly feel like something's been left a little unpolished. I don't know exactly what it is, but that sketchy timing window I showed off back at the junkyard, I've only seen that twice. It's really, really weird. Because I've only ever seen that sketchy window twice, and it throws me off so much because it's like, there's this one mission, I have to remember which one it is. I know it's here somewhere. Oh, well, I don't remember which one it is. But one of these mission objectives was basically never get a sloppy or a sketchy. And I'd never seen a sloppy or a sketch. Well, I'd never seen a sketchy up to that point, and I've still only seen it twice throughout the whole game. And it's really weird that I haven't seen it, because to be fair, I suck at games, but I try and give them the benefit of the doubt. But when something feels off, I am going to notice it. But otherwise, the game it really is a ton of fun. Don't get me wrong here. If the game is like $10 or less on the PlayStation Store when it does come out, I would wholeheartedly recommend you go and buy it, because it is a ton of fun. It really is. I really do enjoy this game a lot. It is really fun to do some score attacking in this game. It really is just a ton of fun to just hop in and try and score attack, or to try and actually, you know, beat your friend's score. But unfortunately, I can't really beat my friend's score because I can't see it on the scoreboard. If there's one thing that I recommend them do, it's that make the stars that unlock missions count for something. There is a hidden RAD mode, aka RAD mode. I don't want to actually sound like a douche nozzle, but that is exactly what it's called. RAD mode, where basically you have to get perfect lands and perfect grinds, like, every single time. So let's see if I actually did relatively well on the scoreboard for that level. Yeah, I would like to see the stars count for more than something with RAD mode, because you have to beat every level with 5 stars to unlock RAD mode. So, I mean, I'm just going to refer back to the Tony Hawk days. I wish the stars, like, unlock things like cheats and different skaters. It would be funny if I could skate along with something referential to the actual... What's going on? Why isn't this refreshing? That's weird. I would like to see some sort of, like, different skaters you could unlock for getting X amount of stars, different cheats, like playing the game in Noir, or, you know, stuff like that. Just tiny things that would make you want to continue onward with the game, just to see what's there. So we've also got spots. Now, spots are pretty much their own standalone levels, right? So there is basically 100 levels in this game, but spots have no objectives... Whoops. Spots have no objectives to them whatsoever, except for one thing. When you make one score on this... on a spot, the level ends. Like, straight away, right? So you have to get your score first time through. And that's your score for the whole run. And if you want to improve it, you have to try again. Whoops. So, yeah, these are basically just score attack areas, and you unlock them through finishing their respective levels in the amateur and pro levels, respectively, in the career. And that's alright, yeah, just unlocking more spots. I'm just, God, sorry, my monitor dimmed. I hate it when it does that, because that means I actually have to press something. But it's still, it is a ton of fun to score attack on these. I really wish I could see my friends' scores, and I don't mean to call the devs, like, blathering idiots or anything, but it seems like such an obvious thing. Like, if you have a skateboarding game, you want to compare your scores to your friends. Like, back when me and my cousin used to play Tony Hawk, we used to challenge each other in Horse, except it wasn't really Horse, we'd just give each other 2 minutes to give each other the highest scores possible on a copy of Tony Hawk 4. It just seems like the most obvious thing to do. And it's like, why not add, like, some multiplayer modes, like a horse mode or something like that? It just seems like the most obvious thing to let your friends compare scores, but it's just not here. It's weird. You can only compare by, you know, actually talking to your friends about the game, which I get, that could be a positive thing, but I would love to just, you know, be able to taunt my friends and say, haha, I got a higher score than you. But the game is a ton of fun, nonetheless. It really is. It's just... It really is just fun to pick this up for 5 minutes, flick that stick like a madman, and just get as many tricks off as you possibly can in the tiny areas that you got for it. And the levels do feel... Some levels do feel really designed. Really well designed, I should say. Some of them feel like you're kind of restricted to just taking one route through them. It would be nice if there was like a level editor or something. You know, so I could make my own levels with their own routes and, you know, share them with my friends, see how high of a score they get. And some of the levels do feel restricted, but then there are the levels that feel really, really good to play on. I mean, like, amazingly good. I mean, see, like, this game would really benefit from having a level editor and an actual high scoreboard and not just a high score ticker that shows you the top person. It would really benefit from that in my view. I'm surprised they didn't include it. Maybe it'll come in a patch, I don't know. See, now, that right there, that was an example of what I was talking about. I swear I hit that rail, and, well, there's no real way to tell if I'm actually telling the truth or not, because you can't see my button inputs, so... It'd be cool if the capture software I had did that, but no, I don't think that would be possible. Okay, yeah, I can deal with 155. I bloody hate base. I absolutely hate it. I've gone and jinxed myself, aren't I? Because I'm going to go play the daily grind for the final thing. It's base! Oh. God damn it. So, I'm not really sure what else I have to say. It's a good game. It really is. I've accentuated on the negatives because there's nothing else I can say about it that's bad. It feels like it's missing some really important, well, not really important things, but stuff that would really make it a more rounded experience. It feels like it's missing a level editor. It feels like it's missing a high scoreboard, and it feels like the grinds are just a little bit off. Other than that, the game is a ton of fun to play. Picking it up and just doing grinds and spins and tricks and trying to get a high combo and trying to get all the objectives done. It is fun. It can be frustrating, but it is definitely fun, and I would recommend it if it comes out at $10 or less. 15 is a little bit more sketchy, but, you know, you're watching this video, so I'm sure you can figure it out for yourself. Now, the daily grind. The daily grind is a... I just failed massively. What the shit? The daily grind is a randomly I think it's a randomly generated level, but it might as well be. It's a randomly, procedurally generated level based on one of the themes, and you can practice on it as many times as you like, but you only get one shot at it for real. So, and it runs under the same rules as the spot, so you only get one score. You only get one chance to score on it, and once you land, that is your score. You don't really have a choice. You don't have a choice in the matter. You just have to take what you get. And if you were following me on Twitter, you could see that I somehow managed to come third in the daily grind with... second in the daily grind, I'm sorry, with 3 points. That was actually kind of nuts. So I'm going to retry this just once or twice more, just so I can get used to the layout. But, yeah, this game is really a ton of fun. I really am enjoying it. I wish it had more to it. More to it in the sense of, I wish it had something a little bit more to encourage more campaign progress. I wish it had a little bit more to let me compete with my friends. I wish it had a little bit more just to help me, you know, just to help me, like, you know, create content with my friends and give me more reasons to come back than just a daily grind that I can finish in 10 minutes. But for what it is, it's really good anyway. So, you know, just get the Tony Hawk soundtrack, put it on your Vita. Oh yeah, by the way, if you try and play music, you have to actually turn the music down in-game. Why? I'm sure there's a way to figure out if there's music playing and then stop your music, but whatever. But, yeah, the game is good. I would love to see them add things like a level editor and like anything else in a patch. But yeah, I really can't argue with this game's value, especially if it comes out at under $10. So I'm going to do the daily grind for real. I'm probably going to fail, and once I do, that'll be the end of this video. This has been Blue Maxima, and I'll see you all next time.